back to Mr. Lucky's workshop. Today we are going to replace the igniter unit on a kitchen stove. With modern stoves, they don't have an active pilot light. They have this electrical coil inside of there that gets white hot, and that controls the gas. So it gets hot, opens up the gas valves. It's so hot that the gas ignites, and then this shuts off. If your stove isn't lighting the oven part, the baking part of the oven, it's most likely the igniter unit. It's an older stove, got the part, go online. Google knows everything and has everything. So find the part number, and get the stove up and running pretty soon. So as you can see here, it's a GE stove. Something I just learned. And getting the door off, pretty easy. Open it to where it stops. There's like a stop there, and it lifts straight up. Who knew? Inside the stove, take everything out. And that'll give you access to the panel inside that will come out. So inside the stove, this particular stove, there's two screws here that you loosen up. Take those out. And then this panel lifts up and out. And you can see here is the old igniter unit. So now the stove is unplugged. Remember to unplug before you start working on it. So this is the underside. I've removed the warming tray from underneath the oven. And you can see the burner. This is the inlet for the burner here. And these two wires here, these two white wires with the wire nuts on them, that is the connection for the new igniter. If you are replacing this and these wires are still connected to these connectors here, you're going to have to cut them and use wire nuts. Please make sure if you are doing this that you have ceramic wire nuts, because they will withstand the heat of the oven, because remember, this oven is right here. So we're going to get in there. What I have to do right here, there's two bolts right there, two screws that I have to take out, 1/4 inch nut driver, and then one inside the oven, and then this whole assembly will come up through into the oven where I can access the burner. Okay, so now back up inside the stove, there's another 1/4 inch screw here. Now that all the screws are out, and we're gonna take out those wire nuts. All right, there they are. The wire nuts. Now this whole assembly should just pull straight up. So there we have the suspected faulty igniter. So we'll find out if that was the trick, if that was the issue, shortly. So here you have the old one. Got the old one off. One screw gave me a little bit of trouble, and here's a new one. Big difference. So we're gonna get that installed and get this stove back up and running. Okay, so the new igniter's on. We're gonna feed this back down right through where it came from. Get this guy seated on the top. Right, it only goes in one way. So here's the old wires. And the new wires. Those are in, nice and snug. Time to put the screws back in. Those are tight. The burner's back in. It's not moving. So there we are. So that's the main installation so far. Okay, so at this point I've gone ahead and I've plugged it back in. Right, got light inside. Going to put the oven floor back in. All right, those are all tight. So before I put the door back on, we're going to see if the new igniter works. So set bake. We'll go up to, say, 250 degrees. See the glow? There it comes. And it released the gas. So there you go. Stove is working again. So we're going to go ahead and put everything back on in the stove. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, so there's the old igniter. It's pretty gross, right? Just as a footnote, that stove is about 28 years old. Why don't you just go buy a new stove? Well, this part on Amazon cost, $38 Prime, and my stove works just as good. It keeps temperature, right? Turn it on, flames come out where they're supposed to come out, and cooks the food. So instead of spending several hundred or thousands of dollars on a new stove for $38, am I going to get another 28 years out of that stove? Probably not. But I know it's probably getting to that time. But until I do get a new stove, $38 fix all day. Thanks for watching, and again, thanks for making it this far. If you liked it, subscribe, like, hit the bell. Thanks for watching, and thanks for coming to Mr. Lucky's Workshop.